Hi, I'm Simon Moore. Welcome to Selves TV. For all the latest content, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel.
I think one of the biggest things that goalkeepers, younger goalkeepers struggle with is when they make mistakes, and I think us older lads understand that it's part of the learning process, but it can really have a negative effect on some lads. So have you got any techniques, have you got any methods you use that, particularly when you're younger, to get through those?
Yeah, especially when you're younger, I think that's when it's hardest. I think now I'm a little bit older and more experienced, you do find it easier to deal with. You're still obviously very disappointed when you make a mistake, but I think the most important thing is to realise that you're going to make mistakes. You have to just accept the fact that throughout your career you're going to make mistakes, and the sooner that you realise and accept that, the easier it will be to let their mistakes go, and ultimately it will make you a better keeper.
I think, like you said there, that they're called lessons, and you learn your lessons. Some mistakes are more costly than others, but have you done any work specifically with psychologists to approach these things?
Yeah, I mean, I think goalkeeping is huge, hugely mental. It's massively about mentality. Of course, you've got to be sort of hard working. You've got to have a little bit of sort of genetics as well. But I think mentality is probably the most important thing, because going into a game on a Saturday, if you're not mentally right, then chances are you're not going to have a good game. And I've read books, and I've done all sorts, to be honest, to try and make myself mentally strong. And I think it's something that you just have to keep striving towards. I don't think you'll ever perfect mentality. It's just something that you have to keep working at. A bit like goalkeeping as well. You just have to keep working at it if you want to improve.
It's interesting you say there that I think some of the best goalkeepers I've worked with have actively sought help in every different department. You know, within the football clubs they've got access to sports scientists and psychologists, but when they go away, they then go and do more research. Is that something that you've done?
Yeah, definitely. I think I say anything to make me a better goalkeeper. I'll look at nutrition, fitness. The mental side has been massive for me. I mean, even now I read a lot of books, and I look at other sort of goalkeepers who have played at a high level or who have been at the top, and look for reasons why have they got to where they've got to, and it is, I think, massively mentality, and that's something that I work on now. I'll continue to work on for the rest of my career, because you want to be the best you can possibly be, and if you're mentally strong, then you'll have every chance of succeeding in the game.
I suppose the response there is the best way to, obviously we're all going to make mistakes, and it's going to happen, but preparing so that you reduce the chance of making those mistakes is probably what you're saying there.
Yeah, I'd say that's summed up perfectly, really. If you can see yourself, or say you imagine yourself making a mistake in front of 40,000 people, it's how you learn from the mistakes. You're going to make them. You just have to accept it. Every goalkeeper in the world has made a mistake, will make a mistake, and will continue to. Obviously, the ones who make the least are the best, and they're the ones who deal with it the best. And I think if you want to play at the top, and if you want to be one of the best goalkeepers in the world, it's almost the fear of people are afraid of making a mistake. They're afraid that that's it. It's what's going to happen. It's going to happen. You just have to accept it. It's easy to sit here and say that, because it hurts. It does hurt, but it's a natural reaction. I don't think there's any sort of formula to say, right, you're going to feel fantastic after you've made a mistake. I think it's just natural. You just got to get on with it, deal with it, learn from it, and know that it will make you stronger going forward.
Mm-hmm. I think when they are, as we've said there, that they are. It's a lesson that you've learned. You know, if anything, I think as a younger goalkeeper, you want to make more mistakes more often, because you know you're going to be propelled quicker to being a more consistent goalkeeper, which, you know, that's I suppose that one thing I'd ask you is that your career, obviously you came from Brentford to Cardiff and into Sheffield. So you played a lot of games at Brentford. Was there anything specific that you could put your finger on that led to you staying in the team and playing all those games that then obviously gave you the opportunity to get to where you are now?
Yeah, I think when I first went to Brentford, I'd just come from the Isle of Wight and just come from just playing normal football on a Saturday, and I think I just played with total freedom. I wasn't exposed to like the professional football world, and I just wanted to play football. And just when you've been in the game for a long time, it's different really to when you're 15, 16, 17. When you're sort of 27, 28, it's a different feeling when you're playing football compared to what it was when you were a kid. And I think at Brentford, I didn't know too much about the professional game, and I was just playing with complete freedom. And obviously things went really well for me there. And then I've managed to stay in the game for nearly 10 years now. And now I look back on that time, and I made a lot of mistakes at Brentford. I was a young goalkeeper, and it really hurt at the time. But now, even though I didn't realise that at the time, I realised that I'm stronger for them. Yeah. I'm stronger for them now. It's made me a better keeper, and it's hard. It's really hard to at the time, because I was really, really disappointed and down when it did happen. But you have to go through that process to get to where you want to be. And if you want to be a goalkeeper playing regularly week in, week out, and you want to improve, you have to learn from your mistakes, but also you have to learn to deal with winning as well. It's not just about making mistakes. You can't get too high, you can't get too low. You just got to stay very consistent and very even, and the goalkeepers that do that, I feel, have the most successful careers.
I think Nick Pope's been in the press recently, talked about being rejected by clubs and starting at the bottom and having jobs. And he's come through the levels. And has there been a time when you've thought maybe this isn't going to happen? And is there any advice you'd give to young keepers who have maybe really hit a hard time and are on an all-time low? And the inspiration that you maybe could give them to say, you've got to carry on.
Yeah, definitely. When I was 13, I went to Southampton, and I was there for a year, and things didn't work out for me, and I got released at the end of that season, and I thought it was the end of the world, to be honest. I was a young kid, and all I wanted to do was play football, be a professional footballer, and I thought that was going to be it. So I played for my local team, Braden, for 4 or 5 years, and all I ever wanted to do was be a professional footballer. And I used to work hard in the gym, eat right. Well, I thought it was eating right at the time, and trying to do everything I possibly could to get there. And I went to Brentford. I just went on trial for 3 weeks, and I think I went there. I think if you're going to go on trial or you're going to go to professional clubs, you just have to go there without any expectations, and you just got to do your best, because at the end of the day, that's all you can do. You can't, as long as you try your hardest, you prepare right, and you give the best that you can, then things sort of take care of themselves. And I think, fortunately, that happened for me. And I was 19 when I went to Brentford, so a little bit later than some people. And I look at like the academies nowadays, and I wouldn't have changed my route into football one bit, because I got a really good grounding from all of the sort of older lads that I used to play with in non-league. They really sort of looked after me at Braden, gave me a good grounding, had a lot of banter, and I was only 14, 15, and probably some of the things in the academies now you wouldn't get away with that sort of thing, and being around that sort of language and them sort of banter and jokes. But it was the making of me, really. So I think, going back to the question, Jim, just try your best, and don't be too disheartened when things don't go so well.
I think all the goalkeepers that have played week in, week out, whatever level, have got a level of self-belief and confidence. Do you think that that's a natural thing, or is that something that people can develop within themselves? And I think naturally it's going to improve as you mature and have a realisation of what's happening. But for younger kids, do you think that, like we've said, it's easy to say, got more confident. Is there anything that you think you've done in your career that's helped you get that level of self-belief?
I think that's a really good question, to be fair. I think there's certain people who just have it naturally, just believe in themselves, and it's almost like a delusional belief, really, who just think they're the best, and that's it.
Could be a weakness.
It could be a weakness, yeah. I think it maybe sometimes people put that on as a front, but I think sometimes that maybe you do need to put on a bit of arrogance and a bit of, like I say, your body language and things like that. If you're on the pitch and you're sort of moping around and shuffling about, then people automatically look at that and think, he's not very confident. Whereas if you puff your chest out, you're bouncing around, you're confident, then automatically in yourself you feel better. So I definitely think it's something that can be worked on. If you're not very confident, then there's ways of there's always a way to get to where you want to get to. So I think there's things that you can work on. I think because I think anything can be achieved if you really want something that badly.
Sales TV, don't miss a thing.